Dallas City Councilmen and their mayor were somewhat expressionless this afternoon as they heard the city manager's proposed budget. That budget would raise the tax rate 24 cents. The total budget is for some $166 million, $33 million over last year. One major cost item is a 6% raise for all city employees, but in this, what City Manager Scott McDonald calls a people-oriented budget, other things added to the cost, too.
There are many major items. One is making the necessary adjustments to get the manpower that's needed to give the people of Dallas the level of service that they would like to have and that they deserve. This is a rather large item, about $6,800,000 or $900,000. We are spending quite a bit of money in this budget in improving the technology in our public safety fields. We're improving the radio equipment, and that involves some large sums of money for radio for both police and fire. And this is where the major expense is. That's our main thrust, is in the public safety field.
Mayor Johnson, on the basis of what was explained today, do you consider this budget a reasonable budget and the tax increase a reasonable increase, all things considered?
Yes, I do. I can see nothing else that can be done in the light of the fact that we cannot attract top-flight employees in the city nor keep them if we don't pay competitive wages with other industries and businesses and governments.
Do you think that perhaps the budget might have a chance to be lower if the city of Dallas and other cities in Texas got a better break from the state legislature in its current tax proposals?
Not really, not in a substantial amount. If we succeed in persuading the legislators that the base of the sales tax, when it is broadened, as they now intend, should include a broadening of the base for the cities, and that all of that should not go into the state funds. Then we will have a little helpful money, but it is not a significant percentage of a budget like ours.
Do you think then that the extension of the tax-based money to the cities is worth fighting for, and do you intend to fight for it in Austin soon?
We are doing almost a backs against the wall fight for every penny that we can get in the way of income. It's that difficult to raise this kind of money.
How do you assess the council's reaction to the budget, and what do you think the people of Dallas are going to feel about 24 more cents per their evaluation?
Well, I think the council knows the good hard work that the city manager and his staff have put in determining the very minimum that this tax increase could be. It must be borne in mind that there has been no ad valorem tax increase for 2 years, and that sometime this had to happen. I don't think it is as meaningful in total an increase to most people as they will see from other sources.
This was the first preview of the budget for the council. They'll discuss it in further detail on Monday. It has to be passed in final form by September 15th to go into effect October 1st. This is Teal Salon in Dallas for Channel 8 News.
Well, the members of the Senate are not happy about the tax bill, and neither are the people of Texas. The truth of the matter is, if the people of Texas knew what was in that bill, they'd be down there in force Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday testifying before the Senate State Affairs Committee. I hope that the people will come and tell us what they think about this bill. And that's the reason we've asked the proponents of the bill to go on television with us next Wednesday night to discuss this bill in detail so the people will know exactly what's in it.
You indicate that the House tax bill is already virtually dead without a vote in the Senate.
I think that's true. After all, this is the worst tax bill ever passed in the history of Texas. The tax is 100% on the consumers of Texas. There's not a penny's worth of business tax in it. And not only that, but to add insult to injury, the bill gives the telephone monopoly in Texas a $7 million rebate. So while the rest of us are having to pay more taxes, the telephone monopoly is paying less. Personally, I would like to see a one-year appropriation bill passed, because that way we would not have to raise any taxes whatever. I think the people of Texas are tired of taxes. I think they're paying more taxes than they should right now. And it's very ironic that on the same day that the Texas legislature passes the worst tax bill in history, the Congress of the United States passes the best tax reform bill in the history of the United States. While we're making progress at the federal level, we're losing ground at the state level.
One thing that has bothered me watching many of these students who assert this total independence of responsibility is their desire to be, or put it this way, their desire not to lose. They assert that not only should they be listened to, but you must do what they want. Now, there's a difference between having your say and getting your people onto committees and having a large number of people on a committee and have your point of view be put forth. There's a difference between that and always winning. Most of us in our political and other social activities have preferred often other outcomes in elections or elsewhere than have occurred. Yet we've gone on in the system and in the process rather than resorting to the jungle technique.
And with all respect to Mr. Stanmeyer, who is an attorney, I think he's done us great injustice today by saying that the demand for amnesty around the country is a demand for the freedom to be free from prosecution legitimately. An awful lot of college presidents have acted outside the Bill of Rights, and even federal judges have recently begun to reprimand them on that count. Amnesty is legitimate under a number of circumstances, particularly involving crimes that refer to the First Amendment.
The county certainly would comply with whatever the law requires. Bob, I'm sure that we can handle that. The problem at hand is where we are, what the law will require.
Well, what does the Commissioner's Court plan to do about this?
The Commissioner's Court intends to reappoint Sheriff Young at the earliest possible date. There is no problem of personality. There is no problem of qualification, except that the sheriff neglected to file his bond prior to the specified time according to the statute. It was an oversight. It was a tragic mistake. It's not a problem of personalities. It's a matter of law. We intend to appoint the sheriff at the earliest possible date. We have to, first of all, see what the law says about our position now so that we don't compound the problem, but that we solve the problem.